Why don't we see Bolo Yeung in action films anymore? For years, Bolo Yeung was the ultimate on-screen villain. With his massive physique and cold, intense stare, he was the kind of opponent that made heroes look vulnerable. Rising to fame in the 70s and 80s, Bolo became a martial arts icon, from battling Bruce Lee and John Saxon in Enter the Dragon, to cementing his legacy in Bloodsport alongside Jean-Claude Van Damme. But then, seemingly out of nowhere, he vanished. So, what happened to Bolo Yeung? Where did he go? And why did one of action cinema's most unforgettable faces disappear from the spotlight? In this video, we'll dive into Bolo Yeung's journey, his rise to fame, his most iconic roles, and where he is today. If you're a true fan of the Chinese Hercules, make sure to watch till the end.
Welcome to Bruce Lee Real Fight channel.
Bolo Yeung, born Yangshi on July 3, 1946, in Guangzhou, China, showed an early passion for physical strength and martial arts. As a child, he trained in traditional Chinese martial arts such as Kung Fu, drawn to the discipline, power, and philosophy behind it. By his teenage years, Bolo began incorporating bodybuilding into his routine, determined to sculpt a strong, powerful physique that reflected the strength he admired in martial artists and warriors. In the 1960s, he moved to Hong Kong, where he quickly rose through the ranks of the bodybuilding scene. He won the prestigious Mr. Hong Kong title multiple times and held it for nearly a decade. His imposing build and intimidating presence made him stand out, even in a city teeming with martial arts talent. While working as a bodybuilding coach and instructor, Bolo was spotted by filmmakers and offered minor roles in martial arts movies, often cast as a villain or enforcer due to his muscular frame. These early roles helped him gain experience and a growing reputation in the Hong Kong film industry, but it wasn't until he crossed paths with Bruce Lee that his career would truly take off. Bolo Yeung's path crossed with Bruce Lee's in the early 1970s, when both men were prominent figures in Hong Kong's martial arts and fitness circles. They first met during a commercial shoot for a fitness brand. The two quickly developed a mutual respect. Bruce admired Bolo's incredible physique and presence, while Bolo was inspired by Bruce's charisma, discipline, and revolutionary martial arts style. Their friendship grew, and Bruce soon saw potential in Bolo beyond just bodybuilding. When Warner Bros. And Bruce Lee began casting for 1973, Enter the Dragon, Bruce personally recommended Bolo for the role of Bolo, the fearsome henchman of the film's villain, Han. His powerful presence and natural intimidation made him a perfect fit for the part. Though his character had no lines, Bolo Yeung's performance was unforgettable. His scenes, especially his brutal martial arts battles, left a lasting impression on audiences around the world. Enter the Dragon was not just a massive global hit, it also launched Bolo Yeung into international stardom. The role cemented him as a go-to villain in martial arts films, and opened the door to a series of roles throughout the 70s and 80s. His alliance with Bruce Lee became the spark that ignited his legendary film career. After his breakout role in Enter the Dragon, Bolo Yeung became one of the most recognizable villains in martial arts cinema. Throughout the 1970s and early 1980s, he starred in a string of Hong Kong action films, always playing the fierce, nearly unbeatable adversary. But it was his return to international cinema in the late 1980s that solidified his legendary status, with the cult classic 1988 Bloodsport. Bloodsport starred a rising martial arts actor named Jean-Claude Van Damme, and was based on the allegedly true story of Frank Dux, an American martial artist who enters an underground, full-contact fighting tournament called the Kumite. Bolo Yeung was cast as the film's main antagonist, Chong Li, a brutal, undefeated fighter who relishes in overpowering and injuring his opponents. Bolo's performance as Chong Li became iconic. He barely spoke throughout the film, but his presence dominated every scene. His cold stare, monstrous physique, and ruthless fighting style created a villain that audiences loved to hate. His infamous line, "You are next," delivered with menacing calm, became one of the most quoted lines in martial arts film history. What made Bolo's performance in Bloodsport stand out was not just his physicality, but his ability to embody a larger-than-life villain without overacting. He was terrifyingly believable. Behind the scenes, Bolo and Van Damme developed a mutual respect and friendship, much like he had years earlier with Bruce Lee. The chemistry between hero and villain helped elevate the movie's intensity and entertainment value.
You are next.
Bloodsport was a surprise hit and became a cult classic, especially in the West, where it introduced a new generation to the world of underground martial arts films. For many fans, Bolo Yeung's role as Chong Li is just as memorable, if not more so, than Van Damme's performance. It revived Bolo's international popularity and led to more villainous roles, in films like 1991 Double Impact, where he once again faced off against Van Damme. Though Bolo was often typecast as the villain, his characters always left a lasting impression. With Bloodsport, he cemented his place as one of the most iconic antagonists in martial arts film history, a legacy that still earns him admiration from fans around the world today. After dominating the martial arts film scene through the 1970s, 80s, and early 90s, Bolo Yeung began to quietly step away from the limelight. While he continued acting in smaller roles and low-budget action films throughout the late 90s and early 2000s, his presence in major international productions gradually diminished. Part of this was due to the changing landscape of action cinema. The rise of CGI-heavy blockbusters and superhero franchises meant that traditional martial arts films, especially ones centered around physical combat and minimal dialogue, were no longer the box office draw they once were. But another major reason for Bolo's fade from the big screen was simply age. As he entered his 60s and 70s, Bolo chose not to force his way into roles that didn't suit him. Known for performing his own stunts and maintaining an intensely physical presence on screen, he understood that the brutal action scenes that defined his career were not sustainable forever. Rather than risk injury or tarnish his legacy, he gracefully stepped back. Though he's no longer active in big films, Bolo Yeung never left the martial arts world. He continued training regularly, maintaining an impressive physique even into his 70s. Fans often note how well he's aged, still muscular, sharp, and clearly dedicated to the discipline that shaped his life. He has made occasional public appearances at martial arts events and fan conventions, where he's always warmly received by longtime admirers. Bolo also spends time mentoring younger martial artists and promoting the core philosophies of Kung Fu: discipline, respect, and inner strength. In interviews, he's expressed gratitude for the career he had, and pride in having worked with legends like Bruce Lee and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Rather than chasing fame, Bolo has embraced a quieter, more peaceful life centered on family, health, and the martial arts values he holds dear. Bolo Yeung may have stepped away from the spotlight, but his legacy remains deeply embedded in action cinema. His roles in Enter the Dragon, Bloodsport, and countless others have inspired generations of martial arts fans. To this day, he's remembered as one of the most intimidating and unforgettable screen villains of all time, and a true icon of the golden age of martial arts films. Please like this video if you think Bolo Yeung deserves the credit and respect he's earned. It takes a lot of time to create videos like this, so if you enjoy our content, please subscribe to the channel. You can also support us by joining our channel membership, or using the Super Thanks feature on YouTube. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video soon.